as we come together on this week's segment of the No BS Duo Show. We have the children of Adam. Welcome one and all to the No BS Duo Show. Welcome to another segment. We are extremely ecstatically happy because we got a band, y'all, and not just any band. We have the children of Adam, and we have the pleasure this evening to speak to the one and only himself, Mr. Baba. Are you there with us, Mr. Baba?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How are you this evening?
Wonderful. It's a great pleasure to be here.
It's a great pleasure and honor to have you. So thank you again for coming on the show. And not only do we have you with us this evening, we have your publicist with us, along with us, Miss Jacqueline. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful, 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 and welcome, and thank you for coming. And of course, you all guys know Showing Lips Only is my brother.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, William.
I'm doing fine. Can you hear me clearly, Shauna?
Yes, we're sounding all wonderfully blessed and highly favored with lovely voices. And talking about lovely voices, you got a band on your hands, Mr. Baba.
Well, I'm working with the hand I was dealt with.
Well, let me learn you this. It's a wonderful band. I heard it. I was nice and bopping and rocking with it. I said, oh, I could get used to this. Oh, yeah, I could get into this. And I loved it. And congratulations. Like, quarantine may have hit you, but you guys are doing so many things.
Yes, we've been very fortunate to be very active in spite of, or I would say, circumventing the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, yes. And how has that been for you guys?
Well, like everyone else, we've been a little bit dissatisfied with the restrictions, not being able to perform live and also to rehearse in mass. But we've learned to adapt to it and find a workaround condition that allows us to do what we need to do in spite of it all.
Amen, amen, amen. And I believe, yes, you're correct, that we all have been hit deeply by the pandemic. However, even in despite the circumstances, despite all that has happened, we are still glad and truly blessed. We are truly blessed, definitely blessed in spite of, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So again, welcome to the show, and congratulations on the AMJ showcase. You won the video of the week. Like, you have a whole bio, and so, all right, I need to know. You have a 14-piece band, correct?
Yes.
So that means 14 different characters, 14 different sounds, 14
personalities.
And personalities. Sir, please, if you're not going to write the book, can you break it down for us here, please? How you do it? How you do it? I can't even do it with two. And one of my two got 7 personalities in them. I declare he do. The same. But my goodness, you got 14. Now, I'm a choir director, so I know with all them faces and different ideas and attitudes and situations, I ain't gotta go and deal with them until next Sunday, and I got backup. I got the minister of music. I got the pastor, but you. So tell us about your 14-piece band.
Well, naturally, you have to be the parent,
Okay.
and being the parent, you have to have an understanding of reality, and the reality is that you can't expect more from people than what their capacity offers, what they're capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing that, you avoid becoming frustrated. You avoid falling prey to a sense of dissatisfaction or despair. You accept people for who they are and what they are, and God seems to cover the rest and make it happen.
Indeed, he does. I think that's the best advice you could even give me this evening, because there's times where you get frustrated, especially being in this business. But you got to remember that it is what it is. You only can deal with what you're dealt with, and you
I
appreciate
think
that for what they are.
I think that's principle of any rule. Just listen to what he said. Being a manager for years and dealing with union workers, you have to work with the personalities that you have. 14 people. Yeah, that's if you have 14 people, you times it by 2, and that's 28 people actually. So definitely dealing with personalities, getting some type of structure and order, and taking the lead on doing things. That's definitely important. It's definitely important that holds the ship together.
So talking about holding the ship together, Miss Jacqueline, how do you get in it as a publicist? Like, where do you play in, and how do you get in and out of this?
Well, I mean, it came about. Um, I've been working with Kenya for years. I've known Kenya through the theater. The parent company for Children of Adam Band is Images of the Motherland Interactive Theater. So I met him years ago through the theater, and I started, working with them and helping them do some marketing. And that theater does live historical enactments. And every year or two, something new comes up. So King said, okay, we're doing this. We're doing this festival. We're doing these reenactments. Now we went from reenactments to stages to film, all these different things. In historical reenactments from North Africa to America about the journey, especially about the Muslim experience. And then one day he said, okay, we put together a band. I'm like, okay, so you got to market the band now. so, and I'm always like, okay, Kenya. So, I mean, it started with, they did from the doggone village, they would do plays with all these elaborate costumes, stilts. And Kenya always wrote the music. And, we never realized that, but he always wrote the music. He did a lot of research. He's also a photographer. He has a Timbuktu museum that accompanies a lot of events. So whether they're doing plays or reenactments, and I'm also wanting to do it with certain performances, he has a whole museum and all his research and artifacts that he's done and collected. And like I said, he's an awesome photographer. And so he was actually writing the music. But if I think from way back in, I don't know, probably somewhere in the early 2000s, seeing them on stages, um, reenactment tales from the doggone village, and all of this elaborate, beautiful costuming, and these dancers and stilt walkers and all of this, till now, this band of, really phenomenal people, they all love music, and they love, even though they're all from different backgrounds, they just love the concept of positive message bearing music, that PMV that can go on anything. And just that's the commonality, no matter their backgrounds, they all believe in uplifting one another in the community. And that's what Kenya music does.
Definitely. And I'm glad you pointed out that point, because as I was getting the opportunity to find out what the children of Adam was about, you didn't really have to go far. Like, you made it very hand easy for even a detective to be like, oh, that was easy. And just you like listed everything from there. I didn't know you was in the theater, which made a lot of sense. I don't know if you noticed.
You ever see the twirling dancer?
I didn't, but I'm going to use that as a prime example of confirmation. So notice when we opened up the show, there was nothing but stars, and it's like we've gone somewhere, just floating. And so when I first found that screen, it had no sound, it had no meaning. But to look at it, you knew it had a message without a caption. So when I took Mr., as you say, Kenya music, and I put it to it, I was like, wow, I'm gonna do that. So when you started saying, he woke up and was like, all right, we're gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna do this. All right, we're gonna do this. I want to say, wait a minute, that sounds like me in the morning. Like, I can't go to sleep because I wake up with an idea and it'd be like, ding, and I'm like, wait a minute, I want to go to sleep. Let me think about it again. My body be like, you better run with it now, girl. But I'm glad to know that Mr. Kenya is already in motion doing it. So now I know what the end of the road looks like. So I'll stay where I'm at and I'll keep running. I keep running.
Yeah, Images have had this is their 21st anniversary, 21st year.
Wow,
Images.
congratulations.
Yeah. The band is new, but he's been doing this for over 21 years.
Now I did have the pleasure of hearing him being a photographer. I'm going to tell on you, Mr. Kenya. I'm going to tell on you. So I said, I need a picture. And most photographers do not have pictures of themselves. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But most photographers do not have pictures of themselves. I have a friend by the name of Daniel. Now, Daniel, just because I mentioned you on the show don't mean I want you to start inboxing me and talking to me again about photo shoots. So don't do it. So Daniel don't have no pictures of himself either. So we had to convince him at the club Treasures, you gotta take pictures of you too. So Mr. Kenya, so that I don't be messing up your pictures, because I sent him a picture. He was like, no, I don't like that. The resolution is not looking right. And it's stretching out in the pixel. I was like, well, thank God I knew what pixel and resolutions and 520 meant, because I was almost like, what? Like, so that piece, and that was only like 2 minutes of interaction, and I felt like, wow, I really know this guy. Like, I know this guy. Like, this guy almost feels like me. I know this guy. I'm not going to talk to him no more. I'm going to let him come on the show, and I'm going to let him tell it all. So then that way I can get a fresh hearing of ears and everything. So, Mr. Kenya, congratulations on 21 years.
Well, thank you. It's been a journey. As Jackie said, we started out incorporating the nonprofit Images of the Motherland Interactive Theater back in about 1999. And we've been on about a 22, 23-year run with that. And in the mission statement of Images of the Motherland, it includes the usage and incorporation of drama and theater, but it also included in there the usage of music. And during the early years, at least, the had been relegated primarily to traditional historical epics and classics from North and West African history that traveled through chronologically into American history. And we finally reached the point where it came to me one day that let's bring this forward to the 21st century and start to operate in the music segment of the mission statement. And with that, I developed the idea for the Children of Adam band, and history was made.
Yes,
If you had
yes.
told me prior to 2018 that I would have been the Children of Adam, I'd ask you, what are you talking about? Because I had no clue back then. But God has a way of directing you.
Mm-hmm.
So I followed the lead. That's all you can do is follow the lead.
That's
And
true.
that's where we are today.
Well, talking about where you are today, I want to share with the group here exactly who the Children of Adam is. Now, of course, you can always tell when a good thing has happened. Technology always kicks in. And now it wants to mess with my internet services. So, William, you're going to have to take over for a minute. So, William, of course, we all know that when we have technical issues, because it's good stuff coming through. So I'm going to need you to take over for right now, and I'll be right back with you. So can you please continue to finish this while I get the technologies moving again?
Well, of course. First and foremost, good evening to the both of you, and then welcome to the No BSDUO show. Your name, Children of Adam, that's a unique name, and I was listening how the name began and all that stuff like that. Do you started out in Philadelphia, or where did you start it all out? Can you hear me?
Logistically, where did we begin with the band?
Correct.
Yeah, the band is home-based Philadelphia.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And I'm looking at your picture right now, and there's a unique. Wow, unique. I even see someone looks like he has a suit on. Very unique. Unique group of people. Okay. All right. Would you like to tell the audience what type of music that you play? Can you hear me?
You asked a question about the instruments that we play? Yes, I can hear you.
No. Type
The
of
type of
stylings of music. Stylings of music. Stylings of music.
Can you let them know about your unique blend of music?
So right now you are based off of R&B and jazz. What other music do you play? What genre of music do you all surround with?
No. We're not just based on R&B and jazz.
Okay.
The Children of Adam band is a hybrid mixture of R&B, soul, some jazz, Latin, African, Middle Eastern, spoken word with a sort of twist of the American experience involved. So we use elements of all those different genres of music, and we work it up into a production that is acceptable so far by virtually everyone. I haven't heard a single derogatory complaint from anyone about our music, and they're really surprised by the content of the lyrics of the songs and the concepts behind it.
They also, guys, just to share with you guys, they also, we classify ourselves, like when I'm listing them, classify as world music because it's such an eclectic mix, a new fusion. So we generally, you'll find us in the categories under world music generally, and then jazz is the subcategory.
You know what? That's you know what? I'm getting myself, just adjusting myself in the chair. So thank you both. You know what? In my opinion, that's real good to know, and that's good for the audience to know. And because today when a lot of how can I say this? A lot of young people today, if you listen to the music today, there's not much really positivity much in music today. It's a lot of negativity and darkness, and not much celebration of life in much music today. Now, I can't say that all artists are like that, but of course, we all know that the hip hop audience, which is the younger audience, they listen to music that I guess keeps them on another direction, and it's not always positive. So to hear a group together that blends traditional R&B, am I correct? Traditional R&B, um, music, just in general, that's positive. What do you think of? How would you feel that your music today would actually help the audience? And do you feel that your music today is much needed in the time of all this confusion that's going on today? If you can understand that.
Well, that's a very loaded question, but I will say this. We have our first CD release, which is called Bilal, and that CD contains 8 original songs. Now, one of those songs in particular has become a virtual global anthem. It's called Come Together. And that is a song that we have had an overwhelming demand for, to be part of and to be played in a number of live stream video programs. So our music speaks to the heart of social conditions, economic conditions, disparity. We focus on issues of inclusion, self-respect. We avoid all of the content that has to do with violence or drugs or misogyny. So, in saying that, I look at our new project that we're currently working on. I mentioned that Bilal was our first CD. We're working on another CD now called Timbuktu. And Timbuktu has 15 songs in it so far. And the thing that is very prominent about it, as well as in our Bilal CD, is that our music includes dialect. So we have English language, we have Spanish, we have Arabic, we have Hebrew, we have Wolof, we have Bambara, and many other languages. The Latin population in this country is considered to be, if I can phrase this correctly, the second largest minority in this nation. And it's predicted that somewhere within the next 10 years, it will become the predominant minority in this country because of the birth rate. So that means that the Spanish language is going to become in such demand that people who never considered learning or understanding Spanish are going to have to learn it and understand it in order to communicate with others. So we have Spanish lyrics included in our songs as well. So this is a kind of example of the outlook and the direction that we've been guided in to address these circumstances, and also the thematic content of the song. After we do a show, people often ask me, who wrote the lyrics? And not to take credit, but I write almost all of the songs, including the lyrics, but it shows me that they're listening to the lyrical content of the songs, and they're taking that to heart.
Yes, yes.
So I said a mouthful there.
Well, you said the question was loaded, so I'm a person. I want to get it out there, and so people need to hear. And I mean, that's you know what? Within the next 10 years, sir, I think within less than that, and as you can tell by the climate of what's going on in this country right now, sooner than we would like, but things in this world right now, like I said, a lot of stuff is going on, and the music. You know what? Funny thing, just what you had said. I read a post that someone put on YouTube not too long ago, and I could tell that the person was probably older, something like that. And they were talking about the times and all that stuff everything that's going on today. And they said that music always told a story of the times that was everything that was going on today. So just to hear, like I said, description of your music, and for people to be in tune to what you're doing, I think that's a blessing, because to me, music always tells a story. And you have, like I said, you have a unique group. I think that the traditioning, I'm sorry, of music that your band plays is what's needed today.
Well, as
Sis?
I told my brother before, when we all came up, we had a different liking to what we watched or what we listened to. And based off of what we was fed is what we did. So to state the way that the music is today, is this way and is that way, that's their truth. That's how they feel. And we can't relate to their truth because it's not our truth. But we still respect their individuality of creativity to express themselves, to say, hey, this is how I feel, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm saying. And with that being said, a lot of times we come out and be like, oh, how dare they make a song like that? Oh, how dare they do that? Oh, but that's their truth. And we can't say you have the wrong truth. What we can do is do like what the children of Adam is doing, what we're used to doing, and which is called teaching and having teachable moments. And by them coming out with this type of new music, now we introducing them to something else of a different option. So now they're like, wait a minute. So I don't have to stay with this type of music. I do have
No, they
some
don't.
that could speak life to me, which may even make them even realize that they may have been in darkness. But talking about darkness and talking about coming together, and since we did have a loaded question, I felt as though it was only fair that we load the video. What do y'all say? I say we should load the video. Should we load the video?
I say
Yes, let's
loaded.
load the
I say
video.
loaded. Loaded question, loaded video.
Save me from the darkness. Save me. Save me. Save me from the darkness. Save me. Save me. Juntos. Nos juntamos como uno. Juntos. Nos juntamos como uno. Yeah. Ajá. Now it is the time that we must come together. We got to come together right now, right now, right now. We must come together. We must come together. We must come together. Move together onward, closer to the Lord. Save me from the darkness. Help me stand to fight. We must come together. We call to you together. We must come together as the time is now or never. There's no time left to lose. Hold on to those you cherish. Bring them close to you. Closer, closer. With every beat of my heart's beat. Every breath I take, each step brings me closer. On destiny I wait. We must come together as one. Call to you, we call to you. Together. We must come together as one. Moving ever onward, closer to the Lord. We must come together as one. Together, we must come together as moving ever onward. Call to you, we call to you. Moving ever onward. Call to you, we call to you. Moving ever onward. Call to you, we call to you. Moving ever onward. Come to you, we cry. Moving ever onward. Come to you, we cry.
And that's children. That's the children of Adam. You know, listening to this group, I want to use my imagination, if I may. Would you mind if I use my imagination for just a moment, Mr. Kenya?
Please do. That's what this is all about.
So I'm going to use my imagination. So that song made me feel if I was writing a play, this would be somebody just was killed. And it wasn't just somebody, but it was what some people categorizes as black on black crime. You know the terminology. We killing we killing ourselves. So picture that. We just had a moment. And I'm gonna tell you where all of a sudden that scene came from. We seen that a brother is laying on the ground. And both sides is now ready to fight because retaliation is ready to now take place. Because the people who know the person that shot him, their boys, is right there too. And the person that got shot, his boys, is right there too. So now they ready to go and take one for one. And I hear your music coming out of the background. And I hear the gentleman, and you're going to have to tell us their names, with that powerful, there's only one other voice, cry voice that I've heard, and I call him my cry baby. The war cry baby is what I call him. His name is Jawan Chaney. But this brother right here that I heard, he was crying from out of his soul before he even spoke. And I see him walking out into the street to where the brother's laying down, and him doing that cry, looking over that child laying in the street with that same deep passion and expression, and just looking over that child and that cry. And I see y'all coming out through the crowd and looking at them. It's like, we don't do this. We're not going to do this. We need to come together as one. That's what I saw listening to y'all. And I'm looking at the mothers and the uncles and the fathers and the brothers and the aunties, and y'all all make up this group. and y'all looking at each other and telling each other, and you're looking at this younger generation saying, no. And you're telling them, this is not the way you live. This is not what we do. Now, I know you're in theater, so get to writing that story. That's number one. Number two, y'all remember the story with the three little girls? Tyler Perry, three girls or three little girls.
Okay, yeah, Daddy's Girl.
Daddy's Girls.
Mm-hmm.
And remember when he went out in the street and he drug him out of that car and he just started beating him and everybody was crowding around? That's what I saw, that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that crowd and I saw the neighborhood, y'all, the band be in the neighborhood coming out and saying, this stops now. And I really truly believe the more people hear this song and the more this message is spewed among and showered like rain, like mist over a field, I believe things can be different. We can make changes. If that makes sense. I mean,
Oh, definitely. Like I said, I've known Kenya from the community. I'm also the marketing director for First World Theater Ensemble, and that's how I met Kenya and work that we've all done together. But part of one of the things that my movement, my personal movement, I've coined a phrase, what I call esteem building art and entertainment. And I have a project on spoken word. And just a statement about hip hop. I think when I work with my youth ministry, a lot of people like say hip hop's bad. It's the young people. I'm 56, and I was at the start of hip hop.
I'm gonna stop you right there. How old are you again?
56.
I'm 52. I'm 52.
I'm gonna lay the camera right there. Go ahead, turn to the side. Go ahead, turn to your left.
And you know what? I must say, you look very amazing for 56. Okay. Just right there where you about ready to go with hip hop. That I'm glad you about ready to go touch on that, because when you just say that statement about they say hip hop is young, you and I both remember when hip hop had groups like Public Enemy, X Clan, Big Daddy
right.
Kane, and all that stuff like that.
Yeah,
Run DMC, even all that.
Yeah, Big Bang Hank and them is when it started. I think like 81 is when hip hop started.
You mean the Sugar Hill Gang?
Yeah, the Sugar Hill Gang
1979. 1979.
Oh, 79. I knew it was high school. And then
79.
Planet Rock was out when I went to, left high school to go to college. I went to girls'
that
high.
was 81. That was 81.
Okay, yeah. So I was there at the start of it. It was actually my teenage years. But not just the start. I work with independent artists. And I've worked with youth. I work with youth all my life, and I've had the worst youth. I've unfortunately buried too many people. But the one thing I do know, just as you stated earlier, that when you don't want to condemn anyone's music because it's their voice, it's whatever they like. In the moment you say it's bad or you can't, it's wrong, a defense wall goes up and they stop listening to you. But it is what she also stated is about access. What we have to do is make sure and ensure that our community, and unfortunately is young and old. There's some messaging. I love Tina Marie, but she's a constant victim. Words are so powerful. They're so powerful. And that's why I started the Master Griot Project, because our poets are our modern day griots. And Kenya actually, he gave me a beautiful picture he took of a real African woman griot out of Africa. But so we've all been working together, and the biggest thing, and I think is most important, is access. Is that you provide access, because to be honest, 98% of the people are good. It's the 2% that while out, act weird, get all the attention, And we follow that. And then mainstream, because they want to dumb us down and enslave us so they can get us to do whatever we want. Mainstream music is what you would see is negative. But if the music I listen to, the artists that I represent, the artists that I'm around, they're fierce, they're phenomenal, but they don't get the attention. So that's why what you're doing right here is so important, that allow this positive message bearing music to get attention for and other people to see it and share it. Because in marketing, that's all I do. I'm a marketing person. And your one goal in marketing is to get you to tell somebody else something, because we listen to people that we trust. So
You know,
that's the base of
you know,
marketing. Go ahead.
you know what? With that, I studied that up in Temple too, marketing
Yeah.
and promotions and stuff like that. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Um, Getting back to what you said about mainstream music, um, if you think about it, and me and you have been around to see this change, this transition. Mainstream music from the days of 81 and actually the early 70s. We don't want to exclude it, but we gotta include disco too.
Mm-hmm.
Music had a type of originality. It had a
Yes.
voice. It had a
Yeah.
voice, definitely. Especially the stuff that Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff was doing in Philadelphia. The OJs, I mean, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. I'm sorry about that. I don't want to get killed for that. I said Blue Notes, but Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Yes.
Um, they got a lot of good press, Phyllis Hyman and all that stuff like that. Their music, what made them stand out was the message in the music, and I think the OJs
Yes.
had a song called "Message in the Music."
Message in the
And
music.
oh, here you go. I got you singing too. Okay, all right, I got you. But that's definitely what is missing there. My sister, me and her always have this debate, and my sister's right when she says, "What the youth today, what they speak is their truth," and that is absolutely 100% true. It is their truth.
There's some
But
powerful young people. There's some
right,
powerful. We have to
but
be mindful of what we speak. This may be the ones you haven't heard because you're only being exposed to mainstream. But those
right,
few
correct.
mainstream people compared to the, I'm especially Generation Z, they are old souls. They're like these old people reincarnated. They're like young,
Yes.
and they act like grandma. And they seek. They're seeking. I just started a show called Hear Me Now, because there are young
Okay.
people around us that you don't realize, but they're looking to you. Then now, they may, because they're young, they don't just ask. But we haven't noticed that they're hanging around watching us. What do we do? Especially after these last
Right.
riots. They,
Let me
Go
let me
ahead.
say something. Let me say something to you. Let
Wait.
me
Let her
say something.
continue that thought. Let her continue that thought. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish that, Miss Jacqueline. Go ahead. Finish that thought.
Well, the whole movement, Hear Me Now, came about after these last riots, and we actually saw a scene out on at 52nd Street on Parkside in the mall where the community, we came out to clean up, and the young people were
Remember
there.
that.
Nobody paid attention to them. They pulled this politician to the mic. They pulled Miss So-and-so to the mic, but none of the young people did. They asked to come to the mic, but they were all there helping out, cleaning up, because they wanted to know what to do. They knew the looting wasn't right, but then what do we do? How do we, what should we be doing? What should we be saying? They watch stuff about the old civil rights movement, but they never got the details of it. And they're literally looking for us. And even before then, I actually have my own radio platform since 2006. And I had young people as young as 10 years old lead a show. I don't allow a youth show to be run by older people. And these
I feel
people
you
are
on that.
leading charges right now. They are they're doing some phenomenal work. And this is what I say about access and what's important about what you guys are doing. That we just don't know. And sometimes I think that's the biggest way we stay divided, because everybody view only through their experience. And if it's not shared, and right now we have technology which allows us to share this information to more people quicker than ever.
Yes.
You know, and even if
You
it
know,
is sharing their OJs, Stairway to Heaven, they think
you
they
know
know
what, Miss
something.
Jackie? You know what, Miss Jackie? I remember that the cleanup on Parkside. Unfortunately, I was there the day before, which I called my sister and we did a show that day. I was at 52nd Street when they were actually looting and going in stores and taking stuff out, and it was a shame that, because I know 52nd Street well in hand. 52nd Street, when I was a child, it was a lot of abandoned buildings on 52nd Street. And when they came and they fixed the buildings up, but I think a ShopRite is there, and GameStop and AT&T, all them stores are there. That was something to improve the environment, community. But what they did was, when the riots came, of course, they showed the young people in the news looting. The next day, when the politicians came out and the young people were around, they didn't show that part, because they just want, like you said, they just want you to see what they want you to see. They'll show you the young people tearing through stores and taking stuff, but they won't show you the young people taking a broom, sweeping, and improving their neighborhood. That's the thing that we got to. And thank you, that you said that about my sister and I, about this platform. A lot of independent music, a lot of good artists are out there, but they're not given the light that they need to be given. And with independent, not just ours, but independent programs, people are starting to step up independent programs and stuff like that. With that being said, it's giving music, just like your group, Adams, Children's of Adam, right? An avenue, a vessel, so they can promote their message. And I thank you again for coming on our show, and just the song "Come Together." I thought of an old Beatles song called "Come Together" as well too. That's why I thought about the title. I'm like, "Come Together." I'm like, the Beatles had a song called "Come Together." Different lyrics, different lyrics. So I don't want Paul McCartney. I don't want Paul McCartney to be like, "Wait a minute, that's our song." You know what I mean? But I definitely understood the message.
What did you think about that, Mr. Kenya?
What do I think about Paul McCartney?
Yeah,
Sir Paul
what do you think about that?
Well, Sir Paul McCartney is a wonderful man, but you have to realize that a title of a song cannot be owned in a copyright.
We know that.
A title of a song. Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah, but maybe someone in your audience doesn't understand.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah, there's Come Together by Paul McCartney. There's Come Together by Tina Turner. And there's Come Together by Children of Adam Band in the year 20.
So you're in good company, huh?
21.
So you know
Very
what?
good company.
So when did you write that song?
What year did I write that song?
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking you that question. So yeah, when did you write that?
It was written in 2018.
Wow. So we have noticed that through the independent artists, majority of the songs that has been written is almost as if they prophesized. Because all the music that's coming out now, just like back in the 70s, it appears that it's related to a coming time. Not only just their current time, but a time to come. So when you wrote that song in 2018, little did you know that we was going to be affected in the quarantine moment. But like Miss Jackie said, where we needed to use our sources to get the message out that we were able or not able to do prior to, because as was spoken, different avenues was blocked. But now, because of different platforms such as this, we now have access technology-wise to now push it and start healing the land. What do you think? If I could
Artists are the storytellers and the keepers of our culture. That's what I want you to know. Artists are the storytellers and the keepers of our culture. And the griot is a poet, a musician, a singer, a dancer. That griot is the keeper of the oral history. They are keeper of the oral tradition, and they keep the history and the legacy and the culture. And in Mali, West Africa, that griot was so important. They're partnered with the warrior king to protect that history. So artists are vessels, and artists that truly move spiritually. There's a message. There's a poet named Shyster, or aka Mrs. Betty's son here in Philly. He has a piece called God for President, but he says there's a message in me and I gotta get it out.
Yes.
I heard it. I heard of that. I heard of that.
Yeah. That's how I feel about artists and about what Kenya wrote. I don't even think, well, I know from what Kenya told me and relayed to me, they never thought that Come Together would be the hit single off the album.
Really?
I started promoting it and playing it. Because first of all, they cry. They cry. You were right. They cry when I hear that, whoa. So, and I use everything. So I use the Spotify when I tell stories, because we were all learning, Can you say, well, can you help us out? I said, well, you know what? I had a whole portion that I've done with promoting artists that I hadn't really used. A program actually developed. So we just started doing this and doing that, and we were all learning together. And then on the stories, you can add music to your story when you do Facebook, right, and sometimes on Instagram. So you can go choose, type in music, type in Come Together, and then type children and Children of Adam, or just type up their name, Children of Adam, and you can add Children of Adam music to your stories.
Yes, sir.
That's what I started, really using. I said, oh, this is good. This is good. And I added to the top 3 songs when we do their bios online. But even then, like I said, I'm like you, I was attracted to the cry, the musicality, when you need it come together, it's good messaging, but we had no idea. We just had no idea, In 2018, we would not have perceived to be where we are.
It's a song. It's a song of unification. That's what's important.
It's becoming a global anthem. I mean, all over. This is the most requested song.
Talking about
Don't you think we need it?
Yeah, we do.
Yes. That's what I was sharing. Initially, it was a good song. It sounded good. The whole thing's about positive messaging. So I was already there. We already function on that level. That's kind of our, crew. But we just didn't know. But it's just like you said, it's all purposed. And, we didn't know it had such meaning and significance.
And Mr. Kenya, when you wrote the song with such passion, and it was like looking at him singing, it made me go back to when the Temptations told the story of when they wrote the song of Papa Was a Rolling Stone, and he didn't want to leave the song because he said that part, his daddy really did die. He said, well, then use that and get the message out. And he was pissed. They was mad, but it turned out to be one of the most powerful songs. But in saying that, Mr. Kenya, you knew your people. And your people, if you can, for us, can you just name your group? Can you just call off the names of the people in your group? Because they're all they're all over, because they you all guys come together because y'all not all from Philly and y'all are not the same religion and gender. So can you break down your band for us?
You'd like to know the names of the personnel?
Yeah, if you could just tell us the people of your band.
Okay. We'll start with Muhammad Ali Kemp, who's a guitarist. He's on the far left. The next person we have is Jabril Abdul Jalil, moving right in the black shirt. He's a conga player, vocalist, and songwriter. Next to him, with the red-colored upright bass, is Tyrone Richardson. Next to him is Sultana Arifa, who is our herald, our tanura dancer, and also vocalist. Next to her, in the, I guess that's a pinkish and blue leather customized jacket,
Yes.
is the one and only Daniel Theodore Harris, who does the vocals and Come Together, that
okay.
Cry. That's Daniel Theodore Harris.
Don't have him come running after me now. He gonna say, "Who called me a crybaby?"
Next to Daniel in the purple and gold colored booba is Johnny Walker on trumpet, and next to him in the suit and tie is Donald Williams on sax, and beside him on the conga standing is Bob Conga, and kneeling below Bob on djembe and African percussion is Santis Davis. Next to him with the blue ensemble, he's got blue shoes, he's got a blue hat and a blue shirt, is our drummer Leon Schley.
Okay.
That's myself there in the blue grand booba with the flugelhorn. And next to me on the left in the yellow and blue holding a acoustic guitar is, hey, who is that guy? That's Bruce Abrams,
Gotcha.
our guitarist.
Okay, and you're not all from Philadelphia. You come from all parts of the city.
We're from different states. Most of the group are residents of Philadelphia, but we have two who are residents of Atlantic City and one who is a resident of New York.
Okay. So are you all the nationality of Muslim, or you all have different nationalities of belief?
It's a hybrid of different religious backgrounds and belief systems. We try to portray a visual concept of cultural respect for the world's culture. So we try to have people, or we ask people to dress culturally whenever we perform. Whatever culture you want to embrace, so be it. But try to wear something that gives or portrays a cultural vision.
And that means so much, because it also portrays exactly what you said about come together. And y'all came together for a very special event on August the 22nd. Could you tell us about that?
August the 22nd of this year?
Yeah, did not believe
2020. August 2020, we did a live stream program benefit to. It was an international event to assist fundraising for Black Lives Matter.
How was that? How did that work out?
Well, it was very interesting because the lineup of performers that they had was really interesting. I mean, it started out with a female vocalist and guitarist. She was Aborigine from Australia. And it just ran the gamut, of African ethnic performers from different countries. I think the next performer was Pa Cal from Ghana, an amazing drummer. And it went from country to country, and we were fortunate to be able to be chosen to represent the United States. There were two of us. There was a spoken word artist who was representing the United States, and also the Children of Adam band.
Because it was like 16 different countries, you said, right?
Yes, yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. And and like you said, it was Black Lives Matter, in which when you think about that, you said Australia, and they came from all parts of everywhere to do this, but it didn't take place in Australia. It took place in the United States. But yet Australia and all these different places came together. There it go again. I'm just saying. I don't know. Call me. I don't know. I don't know.
Together, huh?
And then you got a citation this year too, right?
Well, we got
that was last year.
in 2019.
2019.
December 2019, we won the top world music band for Philadelphia Live Center Stage. So we are officially the top world music band in Philadelphia. And the city of Philadelphia gave us a beautiful citation in recognizing that accomplishment.
Wow.
I should mention that the nonprofit Images of the Motherland Interactive Theater is also a multi-award winning nonprofit. We won numerous awards in the area, in the arena of theater education, drama. And then when the band comes out in 2018, within 2.5 years, the band is also winning multiple awards. So, sort of, I guess, keeping pace with what we do best.
And we found you because y'all won week 9 of the
Andrea Showcase.
Yes. Love me some her. Andrea is the best ever, and she's one of the biggest people that is a main supporter for independent artists. And when she decided to come together with us, and we were saying, hey, not only should we put them on platform, why don't you let them come on our show and we do an interview? And usually when I'll see that you guys won, and I'll reach out. But I was wondering why all of a sudden my phone was blowing up, and I seen somebody said Baba Kenya. I'm like, what's a Baba Kenya? And, and I was looking like, well, what's going on here? And then I seen Children of Adam, and I was like, oh, well, let me reach out to them and see what I could talk to them about. Little did I know that you had reached me before I was able to reach out to you. And again, tell us about this thing called Celebrating Musical Diversities of Humanity. Like, that's major. Like, you told my brother, he dropped a loaded question, but that's a loaded statement right there.
Well, it's a loaded statement that we try to live up to the best of our ability. You have the musical content of Bilal, which you'll find is diversified. It's got arabesque rhythms. It's got Latin rhythms. It's got African rhythms, and even additional rhythms that are all polymorphed into the music. But when we go to Timbuktu, our next CD that God willing we hope to be able to produce, we have even amped up further the diversity of rhythms and content. And as I mentioned before, we have 15 songs on that particular CD, but 9 of the 15 contain dialects. They're sung in English language and foreign languages. So we're speaking to the world. We're speaking globally when we produce and present our music, and it's been widely accepted and widely appreciated virtually everywhere that we've gone. I haven't heard in our 2 year and maybe 5 month history, I haven't heard a single disparaging word about the content of our music, which is a good thing.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And congratulations on your accolades there. You guys are doing big things. And you guys, I mean, to see you guys coming together, and it's phenomenal. It's like, people always ask, what can we do to turn this thing around? And I believe we need people to see more people like you that are out there doing things. What you say, bro? Ma'am, what you say?
Always, always, people out there going stepping to the forefront and doing positive things. That's always a plus. Um, as I mentioned, what I've just gotten to learn about their music. Their music is what's needed right now. Um, I think that the message that they're conveying um, can be received properly. And I just say that, I just want children of Adam to continue um, to blossom, continue to spread your message throughout the world. Come together. Yes, we. The title is always to me when I hear anything that mentions unification, I automatically gravitate towards it. So no matter when you look up "Come Together" on internet and you see the Beatles, you see Children of Adam, it doesn't matter. Just as long as the message is understood, come together. And just like when individuals wrote their message back then, the message come together is needed today in 2020 because we all need to come together. I mean, it's no secret that when we look outside our windows, we see division. So a song like "Come Together" is definitely needed today. And I must say, Miss Jackie, I must say, your African garb you look extremely beautiful on that. I just want to say I like the color. It looks
Thank
nice.
you.
It looks nice. It looks nice. I don't have anything African on, but it's all in the cause. It's all in the blood.
You made a powerful statement earlier when you talked about the young children and the youth. And I believe that we underestimate our youth a whole lot.
We
But we have
do.
to make sure that because of their strength and how strong they are, that we're giving them the right tools to use that strength and not giving them poison. Because when people get in their own minds of what they think is right and what they think is supposed to be directed wrongly in the wrong hands, we already know what that can turn out to be. Like, at the end of the day, when you think about looting, it's only because it was their perception of what they thought of how it was supposed to be done is why they did what they did and justified it and said that it was right. But what they failed to remember was what you did and what we did last time. Yours is real time. Back then, it wasn't. Like, for them to decide that they was going to go and react and go into looting based off of what happened with Martin Luther King wasn't a one night affair. What happened was something happened to build up to what happened on that rooftop. That wasn't the reason. We won. And when we won, they said, you won't win no more. And they killed them thinking that was going to stop it. Then the looting happened. It wasn't because of the looting that the result of the roof decided to take a roof off and, that was it. No, we didn't have real time. It took months and days and hours of hard working and fighting and bashing and locking them up and striking to finally win. And the hotel walk was the celebration. But what we did was we did it backwards. We decided to fight to get a celebration, not realizing that we needed to celebrate first. But had we notified some of them that first, we could have been even more powerful. Because instead of destroying the supermarket, they could have just blocked the supermarket because it does more damage sitting on the shelves than it does stealing. Because stealing, they had insurance.
Yeah. Well,
Block,
some of them did. And there was a lot of Black-owned businesses. But
yes.
I mean, understand a lot of that was it. I don't care for only urban commercial corridors to be hit.
Say
All simultaneously. That
Say
sounds
it.
like a setup.
Say
You
it.
know,
Did you
that,
smell
that,
a
that, that
conspiracy?
just sounds like a setup.
Did you smell a conspiracy or what?
I mean, you can't, I mean, I mean, people were angry at the sight of the protest. I can understand where they was protesting and acting out and, striking out where the protest was, but all across the city, only in urban corridors, commercial corridors,
Miss
that,
Jackie, Miss Jackie,
but
Miss
I don't even
Jackie,
want to go my conspiracy. I
Whoa.
mean,
Wait,
yes.
please,
Miss-
before he speaks, let's throw that disclaimer out there. This disclaimer is this.
Yes.
We don't hold him back here.
Okay.
We don't hold back. It's
I'm-
called the no. It's called the
Yeah.
no.
I mean, that's
no
common sense.
BS
That's common sense.
duo
No
show.
one, and also common sense. We know, the whole thing and the whole buildup was us them constantly seeing people being beat. They march. They did the Gen 6. This has been going on for a while. So they've tried all of these things to protest and protest and protest. And then after George Floyd, not only was blacks, just everybody came out. Y'all crazy because most of the protests, and that's another thing, there were more white people at the protest than there were blacks.
You better say it. Say it.
And then, but this whole, this police thing, they have what they call COs. They got people where they get the information, people that act on things. In this day and time, it only took a call. And they mobilized at all of these specific places. It took one person to break, then other people called. And so unfortunately, the masses aren't the one. 20% of the people, are the hard workers and everything. So those greedy people who make up, they didn't have any, they weren't really the ones that were angry. They were out greedy, but somebody coordinated. Calls came out because I saw it in my neighborhood. I saw people taking phone calls. Oh, what? This is here. And people got up and moved from where they were and went because it was very coordinated. And that's not because of the internet. That was all pre-planned.
Yes, it was.
They were waiting for the moment and the opportunity for whatever that agitation happened. And they know, and it is a buildup. And the young people it was a buildup. It wasn't, this just didn't happen. You think since Gen 6, how many years millennials went out and they organized, they tried to do everything that they thought was right. We did it all. And then, you got the whole peace movement, and they're thinking they did the peace thing, but we back here where we were. So they're thinking the violence thing, that maybe that's the way. And everybody's not thinking the same way, but they're lost and confused. But it definitely does not manifest as a very coordinated effort in looting.
I love the way you ended that. I loved it. I so loved it. I'm going to slow it down and say what she said. It did not manifest. But listen, and not only that, I need y'all to understand. I need you to understand. It wasn't all young people, because it was the young people that was sitting back looking and saying, what are y'all doing?
Okay. Oh, I know. My young people were calling. They were calling because I'm working with a new organization. That's the one where we started to hear me now. And I and my grandkids, they were calling. They were mad. Yeah, this and that and that. And they should, but no, my mom. I'm like, well, would you behave like that? And he said, but no. And then somebody went, I think somebody downtown, they went and banged it. They said, oh, they just done broken or something. I'm getting out of here. Yeah, like they don't took it too far. They were angry at first, and they were angry, but then when the people just started bashing in the stores for the heck of it, they knew that they weren't doing it out of anger. They're like, oh man, they're getting too wild now, and they're going too far, and they left.
Opportunity.
And the people that I saw talking on the phone call, they weren't at the riots. These were people in the hood, got phone calls, went out at all these coordinated places, and they did it for almost like 2 weeks.
Yep.
So that's why, that's why it's just important to say certain things, but important to say, to know that this was not the want of most people. And those, those 2%, 10% of the people that wow out, get all the attention. And then they say Black folks are this, young people are that, this and that. And that's another reason why I really love COA and the work that Kenya's been doing over these past 20 years, because what he does show is the diversity of people of color. And the biggest thing we've been fighting for is to let people know we're human.
Mm-hmm.
That's the diversity of humanity. We are humans.
Yep.
Because we were first considered 3/5 of a person. So they don't look at us as humans. And we're still trying to convince the world of our humanity.
I'm done with you, Jackie. I'm just done with you. I'm just done with you. I'm done with you. I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm just done. Should we just pass the plate, William? Because if we was in church, what you say, Mr. Kenya? I think we need to pass the plate. Because look. At this point, the doors of the church is now open. What was you going to say, William?
I'm just going to leave it like that. Just going to leave it like that. She said enough.
Exactly. Like you just, yeah. So how y'all like my piano? No.
It's on that side. Your baby grand.
I can't. And that's not coronavirus. That's just me laughing too hard. I can't play it for nothing. But maybe Kenya can come over with the group, and you guys can come and play for the neighborhood. I think they would appreciate it right about now. So talking about playing for the group, how has rehearsals been for you guys? Like, how are you guys working through the pandemic, Mr. Kenya?
Well, for the most part, we have been doing the live stream video programs. We have done, I think, somewhere like 5 or 6 so far.
Okay.
So that seems to be the mode of the era right now. That video live stream programs are what is doable, what's feasible, and what's popular.
Okay. So talking about
how are you, Kenya? Tell them how creative you are at rehearsing, because as he stated, they're working. He's almost halfway through a second album, and like he said, it's 16 tracks on this album.
Oof.
So tell them how creative you have been at finding a way to rehearse, lay track, lay vocals.
Well, we had to have a series of conversations. When the pandemic first started, we were in the month of March. I believe March 8th was our last actual live group rehearsal. And then I think on the 11th, the city of Philadelphia shut down. So we had to resort to attempting to use the social media communications by way of the Facebook video chat, and also investigating Zoom as well. And the point was to try to find a mechanism that would give us, or would allow us rather, to be able to play and sing in close to real time. And that wasn't the case with the Facebook video chat, and that was not the case with Zoom either. You find that the majority of the Zoom products that you see on television have been re-edited and resynced so that everybody appears to be playing simultaneously together. Unless, of course, you have the high-end equipment that the major studios and celebrities are able to afford that does give them the real time feature. So in lieu of that, we decided that what we would do would be to host our rehearsals outdoors and still maintain the social distancing requirements. So the band being 14 members, I had to divide the group up into sections. So like we'd have the horn section, they would be cluster 1, the vocalists would be cluster 2, rhythm would be cluster 3, and so forth. And so we would have our rehearsals with just the cluster only, which would only be about 3 or 4 people. And we maintained a 20-foot distance between each performer. We had the microphones that were covered with disposable, I guess they're like miniature hair nets that sit over top of the microphones. And each microphone is assigned specifically to one specific person, so no one is using someone else's microphone. And of course, the disposable sanitation caps are disposed of after each rehearsal. Everyone that arrives has to arrive in a mask and gloves, and I take their temperature with a contactless thermometer gun before they get out of the car. And once they get out of the car, then they're offered fresh PPE from our supply. We have masks and disinfectants and sprays and gloves and insect spray and virtually everything you need to refresh and to sanitize again. So we're all 20 feet apart, and we had to resort to using battery-operated amplifiers because we didn't have access to electricity. So we're able to project the voices of the vocals, and still we're able to rehearse. And we record those sessions and share them with all of the other participants within 24 hours, so that they're able to have something to practice and rehearse with, and learn and improve their parts with. So we've been able to make a lot of headway in doing that versus just sitting around and doing nothing, giving up in despair. So we've come a long way, and we'll continue this regimen until the end of October, because we anticipate the winter weather coming in, and once that happens, we can't be outdoors rehearsing. So that's how we're keeping everyone safe, and we're still making progress with regards to the production that we're currently working on.
Jeez, talking about making chicken and dumpling with flour, water, and a couple of pieces of chicken. My goodness. Whew.
Determined. That's so awesome. Just determined.
Necessity is the mother of invention. So we have a need that meets the necessity. So we had to be innovative and try to, work around this and still be able to accomplish at least close to what we need.
Right.
Some progress is always better than no progress at all, regardless of the amount of progress. So.
True. Well, talk about progress. I have another video, and I'm laughing because as much as I love myself some Bilal, I guess I was trying to be fancy. I don't know what to call it. But anyway, we're gonna what we gonna say? We're gonna load the next video. We're gonna check out Bilal. Now I know I had it. Didn't I have it? I do have it. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna check out. This is where you was with the World Afro Jazz USA with a Black Lives Matter, and I believe this is when you was performing Bilal. Okay. I think we have difficulties again.
Around the world, for every boy and girl, from here to long ago, stories you should know. They call him the light. 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 We look into the past. The question we should ask: who we think we are? Surely we're just like a star. So they call sisters never shout. Put your hand in mine.
Okay. And we have technical issues again. Like, seriously, you gotta love it. You just gotta love it and love the way it just happens. Yeah, it just does what it does, and it just does what it does, right? Yeah. So while you guys go ahead, I'm going to bring me and Kenya back through because it looked like again we're having problems. If William is still on with us, is William still here?
Yes, he's here.
Okay, y'all go ahead. I'm gonna make sure I got Kenya.
Miss Jackie, how are you?
I'm fine. We had another person join us. It was just scratching at me. This is Cody.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the video and I'm impressed. Everybody on the stage is playing an instrument. Everybody is doing what they need to do. I'm impressed. It's no scenario like Steve Harvey once said, you know, a rapper on a stage and 40 mics and all that stuff like that. Everybody is doing what they need to do. And that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, that's what's really good. It's not like no special lead singer and all, it's just different songs, but everybody takes part and everybody multi-talented. Yeah.
You know what? And you know, my sister mentioned something earlier about the a situation about a program we did with the Temptations. I'm just going to use that example. A lot of people, when they even think of that group, they think of what David Ruffin and stuff like that. But everybody in that group could sing. Everybody could take the lead song. You know, you think of groups like Sly and the Family Stone. Sly Stone, yes, he was the man. But you had Larry
But
Graham.
it was the band. Back then, the bands was it. Oh my God.
Yes.
Ohio Players, Parliament, Funkadelic, George Clinton might have been a character, but it was the band. It was the whole band.
Remember George Clinton? I remember one thing I remember about them is he had one guy, I think he played the guitar. He wore a big diaper on stage. I forgot who that was.
George Clinton. That was George. It was Funkadelic. Bootsy Collins was with them. I mean, Bootsy Collins had solo, but he was part of Parliament Funkadelic. But then the band was everything. And that's what they bring. That's the funk that you're going to find in Children of Adam. That's the funk that you find.
But
I respect it.
that band part.
And it's not only just that, it's something that you said earlier in what you mentioned, the two examples. There was a band, and when you're looking at Kenya and his band, and you look at the Temptations and his band, it was when one decided that it had to be important, one had the need to be, one had to feel as though he was bigger than everybody in order for them to all function. I don't see that with your group. Y'all all function together as one organ. It's not about big me, little you, or you getting this and I'm not. It's not about that. You work together, because when you start doing this, it becomes unbalanced. That's where the opening coming at. And when you come in the opening, here come the frustrations. Here come all the difficulties. Here come all the difficulties. What were you saying, King?
If I can respond to that.
Yes, please
Our
do.
number one rule is no egos allowed. If you have an ego, the Children of Adam band is not a place for you. So, egos have been the downfall of every major and minor upcoming organization. And if you have a problem with egotism, wanting to be out front, wanting your name on the marquee, et cetera, and all that implies, Children of Adam band is not the place for you. We don't accept that. We don't allow that. And, it's a revolving door. So the way you came in, you go right back out.
Hey, I get it. And then when you're dealing with 13 other people, and an ego brings about 20 other people in one, that ain't a pretty picture. So
you know what, Miss Jackie and Miss Sir, what you said about ego. Even I was ready to mention another group. Remember when I think it was Prince and the Revolution, when Prince included his backing band, the Revolution, even though his name was up front, it was still a group effort. You understand what I'm saying? They all wrote Purple Rain. They all did all that together. Yes, he was the star, but it was Lisa, Wendy, and the guitar player, Brown Mark, and all of them, that contribute into making that situation happen. So he is right. It is, and like my sister used the example, it was one ego that figured that I'm bigger than everyone. One thing I've learned, even in organizations, and I've worked in corporate majority half my life. One thing I notice what corporations do, when that one person gets to the point where they feel that they are the one, I've seen a lot of people get showed the door. A lot quickly. And I work for organizations where, just like Mr. Balas, which was mentioned, egos is not accepted. Is a revolving door. Like I said, I've met people in my career, just being as a manager, that thought that they were, and corporate showed them that you aren't the one, and you can step on the other side of the door. So yes, I do respect that. And that's what it's all part of discipline. You know what I mean? Because yes, we all are great in our own way, but it's like
the goal has to be to get the job done. The goal is to get the job done.
You getting in your name, because even though you mentioned their name, they didn't feel as though they needed to have that introduction. They didn't feel like
remember Shauna. Remember Shauna and Miss Jackie, the We Are the World thing that happened in 1985? One thing I respect Quincy Jones from doing, he had all the biggest stars in that room: Michael Jackson, Cyndi Lauper, Tina Turner, all the stars that was out. But when they went into that recording studio, it was a big sign that said, "I know who you are. When you walk through my door, it don't matter who you are. Your ego stays on that side of the door. If you can't understand that, then don't be a part." And Quincy Jones, no matter what you say about him, he had everybody in check. And we all know We Are the World was one of the biggest songs ever. But he let them know, even before they start recording, I don't care who you are. It's people in here bigger than you. If you feel that you don't need to be a part, You stay on the other side of the door, and I respect them for that.
The objective again was the objective was the music to get the job done. It had a purpose.
That's
And
it.
when you go in with an objective and everyone is on one accord, and like Kenya sets, he set the tone.
That's
And
it.
then, and the people come, they know that and they're okay with it. And you can see they work really hard.
Yeah. You saw when we saw the
And they
pictures.
such respected.
You can see
Yeah.
that through the pictures. Even when I was cascading the pictures. And thank you guys for such feed. Like, you gave us so much information, Kenya, that they had no other choice but to see who you are. And even with you still being, I guess, how could I say it? Even though even though you are the organizer, creator, you were in line with them. It wasn't like you didn't have to stand out front and say, I am Kenya and children of Adam. You didn't have to do that. And I applaud you for that, because it takes a big person to know your purpose and know your drive to get the job done, as Jackie said. And when you do that, people don't really realize what all it takes for you to do that. And when
Kenya, can I ask you one thing? Kenya, can you let them know how young you are?
Please do. How many years young are you?
I'll only say this. I believe it was put to me that the band's age range went from mid 30s to mid 70s. So
that says a lot.
You can work with that.
That says a lot. That says a lot. And if anybody know anything about the category of combining generations together with an age gap like that, you got the ones that I ain't work with no old people. I ain't work with no young people. Nobody want to listen. You always got something. But to see y'all collaborate the 30 to 70, can I give you a clap? You're going to write the book on how to manage 14 children. I don't care. I know the y'all the children of Adam. You're going to write that book for me, and I'm never bring you back on the show, and we're going to talk about it. Oh, my goodness. So when is this album coming out? When do we expect this album?
Well, we're, again, dealing with the conditions of the COVID protocol. We're sort of optimistic. I mean, we've had a promise of recording time that hasn't materialized yet, and I can understand why, because of the COVID situation and the various arrangements that would have to be made, et cetera, to go in a studio and do a recording like this.
Okay.
The second thing is we're just kind of biding our time and waiting to see who, if anyone, in the industry might be interested or willing to pick us up and give us a recording deal.
And a distribution deal. We're looking for a distribution deal, guys.
So y'all know about Donald
Jackie.
DaCosta, right? Don't you know Donald DaCosta?
Who is the person?
Donald DaCosta from Las Vegas.
Well, I've been provided with a number of names of various people I've been sending information to, but I've never heard of this particular party you're speaking of.
Well, we just happen to be very good friends with Mr. Donald DaCosta, being as we are very good friends with Mr. Jimmy Merchant, and it was as of him that he was our first open door to making sure that we, get the word out and get the stories out. His name is Mr. Jimmy Merchant from the, if you're familiar with, of course you should be, Frankie Lama and the Teenagers.
Teenagers.
You remember Frankie Lama, Why Do Fools Fall in Love?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Merchant was one of the teenagers that sang with Frankie Lima.
Okay.
And he was the writer of that song. And Donald DaCosta happens to be exactly who you're looking for. So
Okay.
the one thing about this platform is we believe that it's a vessel. It's not about us. It's about the people that come through us. And we want those people to be blessed and get connected to where and whom they could be connected to get what needs to be out. As you said earlier today, they have a story to tell that they got to get out. And I would be happy to make sure that we let them know what you're looking for. And we just pray that our vessel works on your behalf as it's done this evening with you opening up your lives, because you didn't have to come on. You could have said no, because I was very persistent about you doing a video. You was like, I'm doing a video. I'm doing the phone. I'm like, Baba. He's like, I'm doing the phone. I'm like, okay. But Mr. Baba, he was like, phone. And I'm like, so at first I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, this is my house. How you gonna tell me how to come up in my house? I felt like Run DMC. Whose house? My house. You know, like, okay, well, but I have to remember that when you let somebody come in your house, they have to feel at home. And if at home was to have you on the phone, then we were going to accommodate you by any means necessary to do what we needed to do for you. So again, thank you for understanding my persistent to be. And Andrea, I'm still waiting for Andrea to come on my show.
Oh, I'm going to get her. I'm going to get Andrea because
I'm
I put them on. I met Andrea years ago. I was doing an event because I spoken word, and she came out to our event off of 52nd Street, and I met her years ago. Then she invited me out, and we've been friends and going back and forth online. And she just joined the marketing team for I Buy Black. So I'm gonna get on Andrea. I'm
so
telling
wait a
Andrea,
minute.
you better go on
So
that show. Don't act all shy.
that means y'all like sisters, and she's my mom. So that means you're my auntie. So yeah. We're gonna repeat this plead out again, Miss AMJ Showcase. As we can see, I'm not the only person who's persistent to hear your story. Um, I'm so glad that she put you on it. As a matter of fact, I think she sent me that same marketing tip that I was supposed to come talk to you. So what about a divine destined conversation? So we had a show on that we were also premiering the same time, and of your interest when she came, and I wasn't able to attend. But now that I know what I know, and you said something else. And then I'm gonna ask Mr. Kenya. I know he's gonna be like, I know she's not giving me more work to do. Yes, I am. Gary, give you more work to do. I hope you're writing this down because I've been giving you homework. I told you gotta write a story, a play.
Yeah.
A play.
You gotta write that play. You gotta
And,
write the play, Kenya, and then you gotta write the book.
and not only got to write the book, you got to give me a picture. So that's 3 assignments already I didn't gave him. Did you write that down, Mr. Kenya?
I got them 1, 2, 3.
Yes, I could be a bossy little something sometimes. I do. But I mean well. I really do mean well. So y'all do spoken word.
Yes, we have spoken word in our signature piece for the new CD, Timbuktu, that you'll find to be very interesting, as well as some of the other songs that we have.
Who was the poet that you wound up getting? Remember, Kenya, you had told me about the new a poet that you had met. Is he on? Is he part of it, or are you doing the spoken word?
I'm going to have to do it because we're up to 14 people, and we might even have 15 with a new African masked dancer. I'm leaking too much information. I've got
Well, that's good. It's good to have those leaks. See, that's a good PR move, Kenya.
Well, I'll say this because we used to have the month of what's this? The month of August. we had a dedication Thursday night where it was just spoken word. So if you decide that night that you're ready to do it, we'll gladly give you 4 weeks out of the month on a Thursday night. And we'll open up our door for your spoken word to go ahead and get that out to you. I just wanted to open up the invitation to you, let you know that you are welcome.
Well,
thank you very
let
much.
me know about your event. I'll share. Yeah.
So you let me know when it is, and we'll get the month together. Maybe you might just do it for my birthday, because that's us November babies. You might want to decide to do a Thursday out of every month, but then maybe not, because Thanksgiving is on a Thursday, so you may not want to come on and say anything. Well, don't worry, we'll think about it, but we'll work it out. But just to let you know that you have an avenue that you can travel for your spoken word.
Okay.
Deal?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And then make sure you turn your homework into me for them 3 things too. He gonna be like, you know what? I was on this show and I was talking to this lady and she was telling me what to do. Did she know who I was? Did she know who I am? I think somebody need to educate her on who I am.
Who's older, you or your brother? Who's
Him.
the older?
Him.
You older? Okay.
I'm the
How was
baby.
she as a baby sister? How was she growing up?
I don't know.
William, how was she growing up? How was your sister growing up?
Well, here's an interesting
Oh
story.
God.
We have a big
Huge.
family, and we there were certain family members that I didn't even know that were family. So how my sister came into existence was another family member called me on the phone and introduced me to her, and I talked to her on the phone. And I think it was Shauna. I think it was a dedication of Joe Frazier's statue, which is down at the sports arena. And I'm like, okay. So I had an event at my house, for her nephew, and she came through, and we bonded ever since. Now, as we talked over the years, we both kind of have what I can see as the both similar. We're both going in the same direction. Sometimes people go different ways, but we both going down the same road. My sister is ambitious like I am. She don't take no shh like I don't. And we both can I'll put it to you this way. We both can be very well, that's our whole family. We both can be sharp with this thing called the tongue. But we only use it when it needs to be. But as a woman, as I gotten to know my sister as, I respect her because she's done a lot with my nephews, raising them as a single woman. Because we all know it's hard out there. I mean, single parents, and I respect what she has done raising my nephews, being the men that they are today. So I definitely give a shout out to her on that aspect. Now, I can't say how she was as a little kid, but as a woman, when I got to know her as, I respect her a lot. Now, do I say me and her get along? We get along.
No, you don't. I got a cash app him for saying for telling you that. I have to figure out what the charge is.
But here's the thing, Miss Jackie. Scorpio Sagittarius, that's fire and water.
Yeah.
Okay, so I ain't saying no more. That's fire and water. But I mean, as an adult, as what I've gotten to know her as, very responsible and very respected. So I have nothing bad really to say about my sister at all, and that's really coming from the heart, truthfully.
Oh, he like you.
No, I got pain.
Getting back to
I'm trying to tell you, I owe him a cash app.
No, she don't owe me no Cash App. She'll listen. I put it to you like this. This platform and that you had mentioned earlier about us getting people out there, that's what's important. Getting to have something that people can promote their music and promote what they're trying to do, that's important. Because as you mentioned, Miss Jackie, about and Mr. Baba explained about the mainstream, it is what it is. And I hate using that term, but it is what it is. What we hear on I heard a song with Carly B, and she talked about certain things, and I'm like, that's not acceptable on the radio. Even though the subject matter I have no problem with, but that should not be. You got little kids listening to what she was talking about. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go into all that.
Yeah, I got you. I feel you.
But like I said, I just, with my sister, Children of Adam, and matter of fact, to all the independent artists that the No BS Duo show has showcased, I always said the same thing, and my sister knows. Keep doing what you're doing because it's important. You understand what I'm saying? I know the ultimate thing is getting a deal, and that's a good thing. But you're making independent strides is the most important thing you can do. So I commend you, sir, and I commend you, Miss Jackie, on the road that y'all traveling. Yes, it could be a little bit hard being independent, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. Because I'm not trying to be biased, but I love the independent route more because, like, we had independent artists and they gave us music and all that stuff like that. There was no corporation telling them, "I don't want you to do that," because that's what they do. And when I was back in college, I worked for a corporation. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm not going to mention which corporation that was. It was for a couple of them. But like I said, I'm not putting their name out there. I'm not giving no airtime. But what I'm saying to y'all is I need for y'all to stay on an independent road. If God blesses you and says this is the direction I want you to go, take it. Anything from God, take it. But right now, what you're doing right now is most important, and I respect y'all for what y'all doing. And I know I talk too much, but this is the No BS Duo show. So I'm going to say it from the heart. I'm not going to be like our famous person who's orange and read a teleprompter. I'm telling you how I feel. That's just how I feel. So bless you on the road that y'all going. Okay, I'm done, sis. My tongue is getting dry. I need me a soda, but I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Since he done loaded something else, I think it's time for us to load another video. What do y'all say?
Load it.
Salamu alaikum. Salamu alaikum. City Morocco. Salamu alaikum. City Morocco. City Morocco.
So it's come to my understanding. This is what I'm led to believe. So this is my truth. My truth is they obviously don't want the internet to play this video, because every video we tried to play, it was to try to mess up on. So I have a backdoor solution. How about that? I keep telling them they forget who I am. So while I'm working on that, William, you can entertain everybody, let them know what I'm up to.
Hey, entertain. No, drop knowledge, drop seeds. I'm just joking. But you know what? I want to ask a question. I hear a lot of the greats in their music. I hear a lot of Donald Byrd-ish type in your music. A lot of jazz influence. Is Donald Byrd one of your influences, sir?
Donald Byrd.
Yes, sir.
Is he the former music professor from Howard University in Washington, D.C.?
That's the one and only.
And he had a group at one time called the Blackbirds.
The one and only.
I'm sorry, but I've never heard of him.
You never heard of Donald Byrd.
That was cute. That was even cute for me. That was even cute for me. Oh my good Lord of mercy. Okay, so I'm led to ask the question. So while the song is playing, we can't watch the video.
Well, I'll put it to you this way, since you never heard of him. Still, it's a compliment that your music is still kind of reminiscent of type of the styling that he does. I know you never heard him a lot. That's the first time I ever heard someone say that. Because I say Donald Byrd, well, of course, the hip hop generation, because they sampled all his music. But you said I never heard of him?
And you want to believe you really pulled his pinky and
he's just playing with
right? Okay. So this is what I heard.
Because you know what? Because he said I never heard. I said, you never heard of him?
So that went right over
his head. Who he was.
Did you see that went over his head? That like went totally over his head.
No, he explained to you who he was. He knows who Donald Byrd is. He just explained.
I know he probably do, because I said music has a little bit of styling of Donald Byrd with the horns.
He told you who the person was. See, this is why I be telling my brother. I just told you, and you still didn't hear me. It's like I just gave you the answer, and you still took your interpretation to say, "Oh, but then no, he don't know." He told you who the person was, and then said, "No, I don't know him." And you fell for it and said, "Oh, okay," because you didn't know it. He just gave you the answer, bro.
Sis, one thing about me.
Put the cup down.
It didn't go over my head. I know he was pulling my chain on my neck. I know he was, because number one, he ain't gonna tell me who he is and then say I never heard of him. That's why I'm like, okay, you never heard of them?
Put the
Sure
cup
you
down.
didn't.
Put the cup
That's
down.
why I just smile.
Just put
I
the
know
cup
you heard
down.
of them.
Just put the cup down. Just put the cup down. I
I'm
heard
gonna put the cup up.
Earth,
Put
Wind,
the
and
cup
Fire.
up.
Word, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes, I heard Earth, Wind, and Fire. I forget what CD it is. I think I want to say it got the pyramid on it. And
That's
Yeah,
all
a
in
lot
all.
of influences. That's what makes them that world.
All
That's
in
why
all.
it's such a hybrid.
yeah,
Because you'll hear that funk, you hear R&B, you hear the jazz, you hear a little soul, and then the world music.
yeah, because I felt like doing the cha cha, but then I felt like doing a little salsa.
Yeah, that little
I was
Latin.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, you didn't know what you wanted to do, so you were like, I'm gonna do both of them. I get,
Yeah. They call me Bilal. You know? Yeah, the Dex makes you want to get up and move.
look, they wouldn't let me play the video, but they didn't tell me I couldn't play the song, right? That's what I love about being independent. Because, like you said, you have restrictions, but there's you kind of determine what restrictions you want to allow. And learning this business has been very entertaining for me. I get no sleep because I'm intrigued on how to do it another way, how to make sure, push this, grab that. Like you asked my brother a question, how am I growing up? Let me answer that question for you. I'm still growing. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. And I'm still reinventing me. And I say reinventing because, we had one way of thinking in life, and we had ways of how we felt things were supposed to go, how things were supposed to be. But I've grown and matured to a point where I had to understand that maybe my thoughts ain't right, and it needs to be another way. So I had to reinvent my way of thinking. I need a whole new transformation. So I'm still growing. I'm still growing. I'm not finished growing. Matter of fact, I feel almost like I just got off of Similac and maybe ready for a little bit of
Well, I
solid.
think COVID has done that to all of us.
Yeah,
If you have not been open to learning, this has been a season of learning, a season of seeing opportunity, a season of coming together.
yeah,
Like my grandson said, well, I don't know about this. I said, honey, this is the time where families are coming together. It's just because I heard a woman say yesterday at the post office about, well, when we'll return to normal. I'm like, there is no return.
no, this
If
is
you
the
think
new normal
we're going
too.
back somewhere, no, this is a new normal, and it's going to keep changing and altering. But where there is adversity, there's opportunity.
Yes,
And that's what I respect so much, especially as about Kenya being an elder. And you can see very stuck in how he feels about things. But for
oh
him,
yes,
elder, he is so,
phone.
but he's still so ingenuitive.
Yes.
He's still not liking all of this social media. He calls me, oh my gosh, if I get another Instagram call about how to work, the video didn't show up, Jackie. And but they took the video. Where my phone?
Yes,
Like, what?
yes,
But he's persistent. He's constantly growing, learning, and the ingenuity that we automatically have. It's not like you don't know how many people just sat. They say, "Oh, I don't have much to do now," and all. I've been busier than ever.
yes, yes.
My mom had Alzheimer's, and then COVID hit, where I at least had like 5 hours a day with her at the adult daycare. That went away. So life for me had a total change. I'm trying to still get my work because I've been working from home to take care of her. So I'm still trying to get that work done. But now I really have to care for her. Like, how do you do? I don't have a whole staff like the adult daycare and all the stuff that they have. And I'm like, how do I keep her entertained? How I keep her moved? And it was just so much. Life for me literally got busier. And then, she got to the point where she caught an infection. She passed on. And, but life still got busy because now I have to, it's not just COVID, but now I'm living like totally without my mom, whole another new normal for me, another new having to define. And I've actually been through a lot of these seasons, but like, who's Jackie now? What do I do? What am I going to do? Still, it's still only a couple months out. So I still got the state business I'm still taking care of, a lot of myself, and then everybody, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, but everybody can tell you what great things they think I could do for them. Oh, work with me, work with me, work with me. So it's like, having to like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But it's been growth. I've studied so much, especially when it first came around. You didn't know what to do because Kenya, the Children Adam Band, we were doing live events, and I work with a lot of sponsorship around live. So all of that changed, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And you have to ask, though. There's always a lesson, and when you
Always.
see the lesson, before you know it, it'll start to be revealed.
Yes.
So I went into so many classes. I learned this, I learned that, and the way is so being revealed. And I didn't know at that time my mom wouldn't be here, but opportunity is still coming. So this is definitely the time. There are three things we should be doing. One, learning, mastering skills, going inward, learning a little more about yourself, getting your credit in order. Take this time to get your credit in order. And then the last thing is, coming together.
Yep. I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. Supporting one another, coming together. Families is the time. It's a great time for family business, like, hey, you too. But this is the time for family businesses, for families to come together and communities. And we're seeing it. It's just awesome how people are really helping and supporting one another.
And it's great to see, Mr. Kenya here. Like you said, he's an elder. He didn't sit down. He was like, "It's time to work, y'all. Let's get to busy." And we don't see that. We don't see that. That's the part that we don't see. And that's one of the things I'm grateful for with quarantine, because I've seen the elders get up and say, "Who said we need to retire? Let's go."
I know.
Like, 30 to 70, 65 is retirement. It's 5 years after, and you're still in the art. You still working, man. Like, I'm like ready to tell you. So when you gonna start the new band? When you gonna start? Start teaching them to, when you're gonna be the person to get them out. He like, no, where's my horn? Like, it's time for me to play. Where's my sheet music? Wait a minute, I got a song in my head. So I applaud you, Mr. Kenya. I do. And I'm going to ask you one question. I'm going to turn this down because I want to make sure. I want to make sure that they hear you, what you're about to say. What words do you give to an upcoming independent artist as well as an independent artist trying to work today under the new normalcy? What would you say to them? What words of wisdom would you give them?
Well, my response would be number one, we're hoping that what we do as the Children of Adam band with regards to positive message bearing music will inspire others to do the same. it's all about creativity. We don't do covers. We don't do versions or remakes of other people's music. We do our own music that comes from within the creative spirit of ourselves. And there are so many musicians out there, young and upcoming, who also have that capacity. And my my advice to them would be to persevere. Be yourself. Do your own music. Add to the new content and new cater of what the world can listen to and experience as your audience. So that would be my response.
And as far as an artist that's already been established, and it's time for them to now deal with the new normalcy of creating and having to do it now at this level, not knowing, just waking up one morning and realizing that we're not doing it the way we used to do it. What would you say to them? What words of wisdom would you give them, or would it be the same?
Okay, could you repeat the question, please?
We have some new established artists now that's dealing with the new normalcy of I got to do this on my own. I didn't do it before. Now I got to do it. What words of wisdom would you give them?
Well, my first would be for them to have faith that it is possible. It's just a matter of whether or not the possibility exists now or it exists at some later date. And so I would say to always work towards your goal. Don't sit back or lay back and expect it to come to you. Work, put some effort in, striving towards your goal. And God is going to make a way, whether it's today, tomorrow, next year, or the next 5 years. If you're persistent at it, and it's the will of God, you'll make it.
All right. I love them words. Anybody else in the house want to say amen? I want to say amen. I agree. Like you said, persistent. You have to continue to be persistent and keep doing what you do and believe in God. And I always like to believe to say, don't lean to your own understanding, but in understanding, get it. And sometimes that's
our very first song on the Bilal CD called Kalima features a couple of verses that say, you got to have faith in who you are. You got to have faith in what you want to be. And that's critical, to believe in yourself, regardless of the opposition or the various hurdles that you have to get over. Believe in yourself. And with that, take a step forward.
Okay. So how did you know I was playing Kalima? Could you hear it? Did you hear me playing Kalima?
I know.
Did you hear me playing the Kalima? Yeah, I actually was playing Kalima. I didn't know if you could hear it. That's what's on right now. I'm gonna start it over because exactly when you were saying it, it was in midstream of the song. And I was like, wow, he's saying exactly what we're saying. And let me turn it up now. See, that's what I'm talking about. When that's that discernment I be talking about. When y'all on the same page and it just flows.
I got a story for you too. I got a story for you. I got a story for you and you. Here we go. Oh, here we go. not just a dream. New revelation for all creation, far more glorious than it seems. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. Man was chosen to spread the word, to be the dominator, that's what he heard. The chosen one has just begun to teach the world the Holy Quran. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. He taught us to love and not to hate. The praise of God we celebrate. The final revelation for all creation. We love you, Ya Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. Blow, Johnny, blow. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rise, the rhythm.
that was a handful of a song. But I got a question, yo, bro. Did you hear that guitar? He
I
like,
heard.
I'm like, hold on now. Wait a minute now.
I
Somebody's like
heard.
up the dead with that guitar. Come now. Loved it. Loved it. Like you guys, I mean, jeez. Just to look at y'all is history. But then to hear y'all is history. Like I can understand why you have the name of Children of Adam. I remember when I asked you about the name, I asked you, were you guys considering yourselves the children because of Adam being the first? And
I was about ready to say that. I was about ready to say that. I was about ready to say that.
and it's just like it's phenomenal that you displayed that, you actually symbolize that name to the T. Like, can you break it down for the audience before we leave tonight? So they didn't hear it from me, they heard the truth versus my truth.
Well, the concept of the Children of Adam band as a name comes from the Judeo-Christian Islamic eschatology of the concept about the creation of humanity. The first man being created, named Adam or Edom in Hebrew, and so in that effect, we are all the descendants of Adam. We are all the children of Adam, the sons and daughters of Adam. And a byline in our titling for our logo under our name, Children of Adam, basically states that we are celebrating the musical diversity of humanity. So that's the concept or the idea behind the name, the Children of Adam Band.
Wow. And you just taught us something. Say it again. You said it's called, in Hebrew, Adam is called.
The pronunciation is slightly different. It's Edom.
Edom. Wow. Excellent. 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 Whew, gosh. So, oh my goodness. So yeah, you have really educated us with some good stuff today. And I will be sending you guys um information so that you can sign up to keep to keep abrupt, basically, to keep abrupt on how to stay with the children of Adam, because as you see with this band, they definitely is not finished. They are just beginning. I would have to say it's just the beginning of what they're doing. This is they just starting. So if you thought they were doing something before, ladies and gentlemen, let me reintroduce you to the children of Adam. That's
I
how
have
I put that out there.
Miss Jackie. I just want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Your field, you said, is marketing, basically, correct?
Yes, I'm a marketing and business strategist. Yeah.
How has the journey been, being the primary marketer and advertiser promotion for this collective ensemble? How has it been? How's your journey been?
It's been good. Like I said, I was doing marketing already for Kenya.
Okay.
I was doing it for Images of the Motherland.
Okay.
So, for different grants and all. So I've been working with Images for a few years. And like I said, it started out one thing, and then Kenya, now we're going to do this. And so they went from the stage and all of those things. Then they started doing the live reenactments. And then Kenya even did a piece on Omar bin Shahid. And we've done book schools and those different type of things. And we're looking at different type of festivals. We actually were looking at coming up with a whole festival, just a freedom festival, to bring to Philadelphia, because they did a lot of work around the what was that, the 50th year of the the 150th anniversary of the Civil War, and
Okay.
about blacks being involved in that part. And so they had there's a lot of content and all around that. So you can go to imagesofthemotherland.org and you'll see Children of Adam band there as well, but a lot of the other things that they've done. And so then Kenya said, well, we put together a band and we're doing this. I'm like, okay. It's like one more thing to me. I'm like, okay. But they did an event. Kenya, which another thing he didn't state, he started the Islamic Heritage Month here in Philadelphia. And he did that about three or 4 years ago.
And what is that?
In October of every year. So
what is that?
It's just a whole month dedicated to Islamic heritage. And so it's been declared by the city of Philadelphia that October is officially Islamic Heritage Month. So there will be like a whole month worth of programming. And he's brought in like a lot of musical acts. Like I said, he also has the museum and those different things. And so with a new musical acts and bands, I think that might have sparked his music again. Because like I said, in the early days, he wrote music for a lot of the plays that they did. And then after the last one, then Kenya said, oh, we got a band and we playing a little bit. And so I'm like, oh, okay. But I think it was just like he pulled it together for once and like boom, they just took off. It became popular and it took on a whole life of itself, that the band became the central focus for Images of the Motherland.
Wow, that's wonderful.
That's good. That's good.
Like they said, it only takes one situation, one thing, and it just right there. It's just one idea, one description, or one conversation, or for chewing gum, one mistake.
I need some. Wait a minute. You said chewing gum. I need some gum. I need some gum. Got me some gum.
So, Kenya, you gave us a whole lot of timing. Usually we're we haven't talked this long in a while, and you have really truly unpacked for us, and you just but that's not all about you. But I again, okay, so I do have to ask you one more thing. When is your birthday?
November.
November what? November what?
Oh, I'm not going to give you the number. I'll just say November.
All I want to know is it
the beginning? Is it the beginning, middle, or the end?
It's right smack dab in the middle.
So wait a minute.
He's with you, Shauna.
Wait,
he's with you, Shauna.
Is it in the middle of a curve, or is it the middle going towards the top? I just want to know.
There can only be one middle.
I just want to know.
There can only be one middle.
I just want to know, are you considered a Scorpio?
He is.
If you're a good student, and you know your math, you know there's 30 days to the month, and you know
he's in the middle, so you'd have to automatically know.
I'm going to answer that. I'm going to answer that for the people.
No, don't
He's
answer.
a Scorpio.
No, don't answer. Don't answer, because I'm getting excited. Okay.
Miss Jackie, when your birthday? When your birthday, Miss Jackie?
Miss Jackie, don't answer that question yet. Wait.
When your birthday, Miss Jackie?
Wait. So wait a minute. When we first started, what did I say? When this man was talking, I kept saying, "Dang, he sounds just like me." Didn't I say that? So
yes, you did.
So then, middle of the conversation, we talked about, he said, Scorpio, the one who's trying to get us to get off the subject. Scorpio and Sagittarius, water and fire. And I noticed that he still hadn't said nothing yet. And then I'm watching the creativity. Then I'm watching how he's creating. And I'm like, yo, that's how I'm getting ready to get emotional. You said that your birthday is in the middle of the month, and if the middle of the month is 30 days, that means your birthday is the day before mine. Because my birthday is November the 16th. And then he sits quiet. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, I'm going to put my glasses back on and get professional again.
Miss Jackie, you're not going to answer anything?
I'm June 19th. I'm a Juneteenth baby.
Oh.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Ooh.
Yes.
So, you know, I can't say that word. I don't know. I'm always special with it. Like just now, you said Juneteenth, and I still said Juneteenth. I don't know what it is. It's just I feel the need to say Juneteenth. Even I don't get it. Call me special. Or in this case, call me a Scorpio that has learned my lesson. So, Mr. Adam, Mr.
Well, I just wanted to just say, because I'm have to get ready to go.
Yes,
I
you
have
are
to,
getting
my dinner is on the stove and I'm hungry and I don't want it to burn. But I just want to thank you. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for having us on. I want to ask everybody, please take a moment and visit childrenofadamband.com. There you can follow, you can get to all of our social media channels. You can get to our page, our music page, and therefore you can buy the music on any platform, whatever your favorite platform. I'm a Spotify. If you like Tidal, if you like YouTube, Bandcamp, whatever your music listening pleasure is, iTunes, you can get a copy of the Bilal CD or any of the singles on any platform, any digital platform you like, and you can also buy your hard copy. So please support, and I want everyone to say positive message bearing music.
Yes.
We all could use some PMB. So let that hashtag positive message bearing music, hashtag PMB, hashtag Children of Adam Band.
Now I know why
I
he
got
called
you.
you
I got you.
now I see why you make the perfect publicist. I see. I see why. Very, very,
She do.
very, 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 very good. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Miss Jackie,
Yes,
tell her
sir.
you a Gemini. Tell her you a Gemini. You can do it.
So, Mr.
Yeah, we're all
Kenya,
creative.
Mr. Kenya, is there anything you want to say before we say good night?
Well, I'd like to thank you all for being such gracious hosts, and I hope that I was able to properly and adequately represent the rest of the band who unfortunately could not participate in this. I hope also that your audience benefits from the information and the various things that we've been able to share and discuss this evening. Please stay in touch. Please follow us. I do respond to emails, so I have no gatekeepers. And I'd love to hear from you further on any and every way that we can potentially collaborate to make the world a better place with positive message-bearing music.
Amen. I totally agree with that. And we want to thank you for taking out the time to sit with us this long. You could have just said, all right, I'm up, I'm out of here. But you didn't. You graciously, both of you, gave us your time. And I got, that's why I kept looking like this, because I kept getting we want to eat. And I'm looking at them like I'm on my show. So, yes. So again, thank you. And here on the screen and also in the feed, we have information to let you guys know how you can stay in contact with the Children of Adam. So please do hashtag Children of Adam. And again, we want to thank you for what you're doing. We're praying to God that you continue to do it in any way, any way that we here at the No BS Duo show can do to help to support, be there, back, whatever it is you need us to do, we will be there. Our door is always open for you, no matter what. And just know that you got a friend in us. And it's not just because it's Philadelphia.
Shauna, you sound like James Taylor. You got a friend. You sound like James Taylor. You know what I mean? That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing. I like that song. But listen, to Mr.
Yeah.
Kenya and Miss Jackie,
Yes.
thank you again for appearing on our show. Keep doing what y'all doing. Mr. Kenya, you got me with the Donald Byrd, but that's okay. I'll let you pass with that. Okay. But besides that, I do appreciate y'all appearing on our show. Me and my sister definitely appreciate the support that has came to the platform. And most definitely, I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, keep doing what you're doing. And God is forever gracious. Forever. Just remember that.
Well, on that note,
And you look nice in your green.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're gonna make me want to get one of those. I'm gonna get one of those.
on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to go. So we want to make sure again we thank you so much for tuning in. You know how we say it may not have been for you, but just in case it wasn't, it may have been for somebody that you may know. So on that note, please do share, like, love, and share. And while we're also in the sharing moment, we want to share just how sad we are that we have to end this show. Oh, you know how much we love to be with you guys. You already know it. We love you guys. We just look forward to every Saturday being with you. We really do. But it just comes to a point where we gotta say bye-bye. But you know we'll be back next week at 8 o'clock. Same place with the No BSDUO show, along with everything else we do. So, on that note, good night, sweetheart. And we want to say good night and thank you again to Miss Jackie. And we want to say good night to King Baba Kenya. And we want to let you know.
And good night to the world. Good night to the world and family.
And we hate to leave you, but we must really say, from our family to your family, we love you. And good night, sweethearts. Good night. Practice social distance. Mask up. Sanitize. Because we want to see you next week. All right. Good night, sweethearts. Good night, sweethearts. Good night, sweethearts. Good night.